Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. Both employers and employees pull all kinds of crap when they're trying to, when the job seeker is trying to get a job and when the employer is trying to fill one. Uh, so I'm going to make two videos. One is aimed at the job seeker who's trying to see through the ploys of employers and how to do so. And then my next video will be about ploys the job seekers attempt to perpetrate on employers unethically, and how employers might foil those, all in the service of ensuring that good people get hired and good employees are the ones who get them hired, get the benefit of those employees. So perhaps the biggest and most frequent ploy is that employers use is when employers place a job listing when really the applicant has no chance of getting the job. The most ugly of the reasons that happens is when there actually is no job, but the employer is trying to get free work from all the applicants. And the most vivid example I have is when a company, one of these startups, in their desperate desire to make their exit and keep their budget down so they can make it to the next round and go public and all of that crap, they posted an ad for a marketing vice president. And they made all the applicants say that one of the ways they're going to screen is that each applicant has to submit a marketing plan for their new product. And so they got dozens of these little marketing plans. And in the end, the employer had no intention of hiring anybody, and they just used their existing marketing person and got all these really eager applicants giving away their best ideas in a marketing plan. That's the most nefarious. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. The other reason, and I'll get to how you foil these ploys if you're a job seeker, but the most important, most common reason that happens is the job is already wired for somebody, or they want somebody of a particular demographic that's very desirable, and you know you're probably not in that desired demographic, and or sometimes they'll just post a job only if a superstar applies from their key competitor and they could steal it away there by hurting their competitor and then helping themselves, then they'll hire. But unless you're that person who's the star at their main competitor, again, your chances are near zero. So how do you foil this? You foil this by, if they're asking for a big marketing plan or whatever, give them just a sliver of it, and then hire me. Whether you should interview me or hire me, and if you want, after you hire me, I'll be happy to do a thorough, give you the whole thing. Yes, that could eliminate you from some jobs, but in the end, an ethical, good employer, the kind you're going to want to work for, is going to accept that, unless they're looking to just get a bunch of free advice from job seekers. What else? Let me think. Yeah, if let's say you've gotten a first interview, to kind of suss out whether it's a legitimate job opening. Usually the first interview is a phone interview with somebody from human resources or whatever. And let's say when you've given your first answer to a good question, first good answer to a question, say, it sounds like maybe there's a fit here, but before we go any further, as you know, often jobs are posted when it's really wired or really not going to fill it. Do you know what the true story is here? You may or may not get an honest answer, but that can at least reduce the risk of your going through the phalanx of 5 interviews or whatever, only to find out the job was wired or aimed at somebody in a different race or gender than you have, or that they're only looking for some superstar that they're going to steal from their competitor. Next ploy employers want to. It's in the employer's interest to ask for your salary history and/or your salary expectations. That way, they can, as they look through all the applicants, they can pick the best person they can get for the money. But in a number of states, and it's a growing number of states and other jurisdictions, it is now illegal to ask for your salary history. And so you might just check that. There's just a website. Let me see if I can find it. Just Google. Here's the site address. It's hrdive.com/news/salary-history/band-states-list/516-662. Sorry about the length of that, but what the hell. Anyway, if you're asked for your salary requirements, do your research, whether it be through Glassdoor or salary.com or PayScale, maybe through some colleagues and then make your answer on the highest side of fair you can. So if your research says, you should be making somewhere between 90 and 100, you might say 105, 100 or 105 or something like that. They're rarely going to eliminate you for some small amount like that, and they'll feel good about having negotiated you down. The final ploy I want to talk about that employers use, unfortunately, too frequently is they paint too rosy a picture of what the job is like. They'll either do that in the ad or in the interview. And the answer to how you can foil that is, and there are never any perfect solutions, but it's a possible, it helps. Asking 2-3 questions peppered throughout the interview, which enables you to suss out what's really going on there. So you might even ask a question like, what percentage of people end up eating their lunch at their desk? Or what are you hoping I would really turn out and accomplish in the first 30 days? Or every boss or every culture is a little different. If I had all the workers here, how would they describe you as a boss, and how would they describe the culture? Again, you may not get a super honest answer, but especially if it's a group interview, watch for the facial expression changes. You're probably not going to see them roll their eyes, but subtle things like pursing their lips can be a tip-off to their, not being that honest. Also, when you're offered the job, do try to ask if possible, to negotiate terms in person. That's not just so that you let them know that you're going to take the negotiations seriously, but it gives you a chance to check out the vibe in the workplace. Do people look like they're working reasonably hard, but not, kind of relaxedly, or is it they look angry or annoyed, or are they just sitting around? And also hang out in the break room a little bit and listen to the talk, and maybe ask a question like, "Hey, I've just been offered a job here. Is there anything you feel comfortable telling me about what it's really like to work here?" So, no guarantees, but that can help you do a better job of assessing whether the employer painted too rosy a picture. In any case, those are my thoughts. And again, as I promised, tomorrow I'm planning to write one that describes the ploys that job seekers, unfortunately, too often use, and how employers can foil it. So in any event, I do thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko. I welcome your thumbs up, and if appropriate, your thumbs down. Your comments, you're hitting the share button and sharing it in your social media, and you're subscribing if you wish. Anyway, again, thanks for watching. I'm Marty Nemko.